agent.
It's good.
How are we doing today?
We're good.
I'm good.
We have an intruder today. Are we doing?
I know this is an honor for him to be here with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, we don't have men on our show, but we thought we'll do something different today.
Yes.
Because we have some information that we really want to talk about.
Good information.
Before we start, I think he brought some cologne because people have a problem with the perfume.
Changing it up today.
Introduce your cologne.
Lafayette Street. I don't. Lafayette Street, Bond number 9.
Okay.
I heard y'all was looking for good smelling men.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Smelled that before?
Oh my, never.
Okay, good. I figured.
Dang, serious.
She always got to do this with this.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of my favorites.
No, that's some serious
She was about
stuff
to
right
spray
there.
No, I was going to spray Brian.
No. You gotta spray me.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So you are here with us today. We are Real2Her. Okay, and we actually have CEO.
Can we
and
introduce
founder.
ourselves first?
No, we're going to introduce Brian first because normally it's ladies first. We're going to get a man a chance and then we'll go through us, right?
Okay.
We have the CEO and founder of the hottest parties in South Florida.
I'll take that.
B. Lee
Yes.
Parties. What's the official name?
B. Lee Party.
B. Lee Parties.
Awesome.
And Brian Lee.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have the Real2Hers.
Okay.
Erica King.
Katrina Harley.
And Kiana Thompson.
Today we are going to discuss with Mr. Lee
about probate.
Probate. Very important in our community.
Absolutely.
Very important in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've all had a little bit of touch on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through something now I won't disclose because I don't want to have to block some family members from social media.
And for legal purposes as well.
But you're also going through one with a deal that you're going through, right?
I'm actually going through one with the deal that I'm in the middle of too. Same thing. Theirs is better because they had a trust, which I wasn't educated on. Now I'm going to incorporate it for my children. Because I used to think that the will had the most power. A will can be contested in court.
Absolutely.
So that was something that I just recently learned. Mr. Lee.
Talk to me.
Tell us your experience with dealing with real estate and the loss of your mom, and our condolences, of course.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And the whole experience that you've had to endure when it comes to attaining the home.
So it's almost like what you said. We only had a will. We didn't have a trust. So I was on that side of the deal. My mom made a will. She made a quit claim deed.
Okay.
So what she didn't know was when she filled it out, it was done in 2014. The day she signed it made me the homeowner, but she didn't know that. She just thought she was filling out a paper to put with her will, God forbid she died or whatever. So when she passed away, after I filed the papers downtown or whatever, that's when I learned that from the day that it was notarized, I was the homeowner.
Okay.
Even though I didn't know nothing about it, anything. So from that point, I had to pay back all the homestead exemptions because it's like it's false.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I never knew this lady even signed nothing. I didn't think about that. So all I know is the will was there. So what people in our community need to know is it's more to just a will saying this child can get this home or, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So, and it was crazy because just being here earlier, I heard you and another agent talking, and I learned more about, it's different details to put down so that, we don't go through this because it cost me a lot of money to, so I had like a lien on the house. I had a lien for every year. So from 2014 to 2018, I had a lien on the house. So I had to pay each year of the homestead exemption plus taxes and penalties from it. So it's definitely it's a good one y'all doing.
Yeah. One of the most important things is we don't think about prior to death what we need to do. And it's very important to plan. Get with a real estate attorney, get with a real estate
probate attorney
agent that can guide you and take you to the steps that you need to go. Because like he said, it's a little bit more than just writing on a piece of paper, I want such and such to have my home. There's a lot of things that need to be in place. Do you have any experience with probate
of course,
at all?
I did.
Your parents, right? Your mom?
No. My clients, last year or the year before,
Okay.
she was going through a probate. So the house was owned by her husband, but his two brothers also owned part of the house as well. And then there was a share that went to his daughters. So she was living in the home. They allowed her to live there because that was her husband. But then when they were ready to sell, she had to move out. So they sold two houses. So both houses were going through probate. So she lived here in the U.S., didn't have any family. Her family's in another country. So she's here by herself. She doesn't have any kids with her husband. So it was kind of hard for her, but we got through everything. They had already started the process prior to putting the house up for sale. But then there was just a little process of going through the court documents and everything and getting everything approved, because what I learned is the judge and the family have to approve the price of the home that's being sold. So
wow.
And one person saying $1 difference can make the whole thing really
stall.
bad. The good thing for you is that you didn't have to deal with anybody else. It was just you taking on the extra, the backhand stuff, which is the balances that had to be paid.
Well, no, not to cut you off. I have a sister, but she just agreed. Like, it was no, like, yeah, like how you just said, like,
and that's a blessing.
She contests anything.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Because, and I think the bigger issue is that we know that a home purchase is generational wealth, but we don't want to talk about what happened when we leave.
Exactly.
Because it happens in my household too, because my husband don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I put life insurance on him the day I got pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
And we weren't married yet, and he like, well, you want me to die? No, it's not about that. It's about that you've been a provider for so long. What about when we go?
Right.
And even now we have 4 girls. It's girls. We all got attitudes. They gonna end up dating or marrying somebody. I don't want them to. My goal is we will have a property for each child. But if we die before that happens, what's gonna happen to my house? I got older kids and then little kids. Everybody needs to be of 18. So I have to redo everything. Because now we had a 2-year-old who can't make a decision, and those other kids can't tell her what to do, where she gonna want to live.
Right.
So I just think it's that the conversation is not had. Hey, we're buying a house. Now let's talk about how we plan for the future if something goes wrong.
I also believe that if you have elder parents, this is the time to have a conversation. If it hasn't already been having a conversation,
don't want to talk about
they don't want to talk about it, but reality sets.
I don't want to talk about it either.
But sometimes
you were seeing though, Brian.
Sometimes they don't want to hear from you particular. They want to hear from an attorney or someone that they feel have more knowledge in that field. Right?
I think people don't like talking about death.
No,
They
not
don't.
at all.
I think it's the death.
I didn't talk about it to my mom. My
Till you experienced
sister,
it.
yeah, my sister actually knew everything. I didn't know anything, because that's a different type of maturity to talk about dying.
Right. It is hard.
That's hard. Like, you, just like how you said, you got everything in order. Like, you're different. You're built different to be able to even do that. I still haven't done a will, and I know, like, a will, all that stuff
They
plays.
need to be done, but you have a fear.
I can't write that down yet. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that is something that is very common in our community.
It is.
Yeah.
It's that fear of, there's other group of nationalities that as soon as the baby is
Pop
born,
out, they have a plan.
there's a burial plot already.
They do.
You know, everything is done. And I just think that we need to be more educated on what we need to do and have those difficult conversations, because it has to be had.
It has to be.
It has to be had.
So I think for me, and I was young when my dad died.
Okay.
And that was the first death I even remember. And I went through a lot. I had to go through counseling. I went through the anger portion because he was killed by a drunk driver.
Okay.
I went through, in the community that we were brought up in, it was harder for me. But then when I had DirecTV suing me because he had a business I was the beneficiary that ended up inheriting all his debt.
Everything.
And I'm sitting there like, I filed bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And then I started educating myself. But then I got with people that I was working at the bank that were like, no, don't stress yourself out. This is what you do from this point on. File bankruptcy, start over. Don't worry about that. But you need to do X, Y, Z to make sure this doesn't happen.
Right.
And I kind of, now, then I start walking around because we know I talk about everything. Oh, you gonna die. You better make sure you gonna die. Your daughter ain't gonna get your car. And so I had to get comfortable with the conversation. And even now for my kids, I have all girls. If I died today, they can run my house the way I run it. The 2-year-old not. They know what days I cook, what I cook, how to cook it. Iron Daddy shirt. It's a system because my grandmother, when she went through some medical things, it's still a secret. Now I'm open. I'm an open book. You could ask me anything because I experienced everything being a secret and being in the dark so long.
Right.
For me, we have to be open. We have to educate. So as a realtor and a person, education is very important to me because we always in the dark.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
Grant,
scared of it.
what would you add, based on your experience with you having to go through probate or whatever it is that you had to go through? What would you share with our community that will help get them prepared and ready for the inevitable?
I'm going to dig deeper. What would you tell our generation to talk to their parents about, to prepare
Have that
for the
conversation.
stuff that you had to experience when your mom left?
I mean, of course, death, but like I said, that's a hard. That's hard.
It
It's
is
hard. So I would just say like details about the home. Like, is it any second mortgages?
There
How
you
much
go.
is the taxes? Because
Okay.
a lot of you got to think for the younger generation, if they're not paying the taxes,
They don't know
they don't know.
And they
Like
will
my
lose
mom had me paying my tax, so that's how I was always aware of taxes.
Taxes.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like, I would just say like those things like taxes, the mortgage, and second loans, and then like, what do you want me to do with this house? You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes if a parent might just say sell the
it
house.
and get what you
Don't
can out of
even
it.
keep the house.
Right. Okay. I think that's great. What is your ideas on that?
I don't know. I don't want my kids to sell my house.
Okay.
So we definitely going to have to
Have a
incorporate a
conversation.
trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a will now, but again, it don't mean nothing from what I just experienced.
Right.
That it's just a piece of paper, but the trust have more power. So, and I guess you're right. There are some parents that say sell it, and
Well, a take-home message is the conversation needs
after
to be
conversation.
had. Okay, we don't want to wait until it's all over and the parent or the owner has passed away to figure out what to do. Now everything is going to be pushed forward.
Have the conversation. It's
For so
okay. We
long.
all gonna die.
Eventually, it's
die-
going to happen.
They have to replace me on this show with somebody who like pink.
Guaranteed.
I could write a trust for the show because I came up with the name. So technically,
It's
I'm going.
yours.
No, I'm coming up with the name. So if y'all want to keep using the name, the person who replaced me have to like pink. Period.
Okay, that's a
That's good?
deal.
Okay.
That's a deal.
I appreciate respecting my wishes when I'm dead.
Yes.
But no, it's definitely a serious conversation. I make a joke of everything because sometimes those serious conversations are easier when you lighten up the mood.
Right.
Again, now I'm thinking about adding another $200,000 on my husband and he used to be joking. He don't like to have that conversation. He doesn't. It's a fear in a lot of people in our community, and I just think that again the key thing is education.
Education.
And we thank you for
Education,
coming and speaking to us
Absolutely.
because
It was a pleasure.
I appreciate this
I
nice
didn't
spot
know.
y'all got here.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Oh, you can have a party in here. We
We
charge
tried.
$50 entry.
We
that's pretty
tried.
cheap.
Well, it was a pleasure. Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace out.